Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I hope my audio is clear and my video is clear.
Yes.
Just to confirm if my screen sharing is clear.
Yes, coach. It's visible.
All right, thank you. I'll wait for you to start, inshallah. All right, I think I missed my own introduction. So thank you so much for being here. All the people who are on today's event. I think we have this 2 hours, which are quite crucial, quite important from all perspectives. It's your 2 hours. Each of you are sparing 2 hours, and if you look at the number of people on the meeting or this program today, we have 64 people, and me 65 or probably 65 plus, and each of us sparing 2 hours is a cumulative uh, number of hours which we are going to, it's a huge number of hours which we are going to invest today. So I request you, if you have anything else to do, usually when there is an online program, we always try to do something, else while we are listening to this. For today, I request you at least the first 1 hour, be with me, because there's something very crucial I'm going to discuss with you. Not only discuss, I want to take you through the process. Most of the time people talk only about knowledge, share knowledge, give tools and tips. I do not want to do only that. I also want to take you through a few points, few exercises, few real-time checks so that you're able to check your own goals right now. Because most of the people I have interacted, at least 80% of the people I've interacted, want to do something very big in life, but they do not know how to get there. They want those goals very desperately, but they do not know how to get there. So I'm trying to put 5 steps, not to write goals, not to set goals, but to execute goals. Execution is an art. It's just not simple. There are people who are absolutely uneducated, but they're amazing in execution. I'm sure you must have come across people like that. They don't have a degree, they don't have formal education, but if you give them a task, they do it par excellence. They do it like Six Sigma. They might be farmers, they could be drivers, they could be people who are helping us around, but they're superb in execution. What we lack is execution. We don't lack knowledge. We have a lot of knowledge, but we are not able to put that knowledge into wisdom, into practice. So my focus today with you all will be to see how we can think about how quickly we can execute our goals and what kind of goals should we execute. So those are the few things I would like to take you through. So have a notepad or a writing pad handy with you. लिखने के लिए कुछ आप अपने साथ रखिए. Please have a notepad, a writing pad, because I'm not just going to speak. I'm going to take you through a few points, a few steps which are going to be important. And you can probably ping in a few comments. We'll have a good amount of time for question answers, specific question answers at the end of the session. And if you really would like to put in some comments or you want to stop me, just hold on. I'll give a pause in between, and then probably we can have a quick discussion and then move forward. If you really want to ask a question about something which you have heard me talking, then please note it down. Just note it down so that you don't forget, right? Have that note, and then we can have that question answer session at the end. So how I want to space this whole event today is, I'm sure you do not want to actually invest all the 2 hours, though we can do 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. We can do n number of hours, but in today's world people don't have time. I'm sure you are here uh, trying to see that in the first 1 hour what you're going to get. That's going to be the crucial hour. So first 1 hour, let's focus on something very crucial, and then we can open for question answers for the next 40 minutes or so, and then you can conclude, because I understand that human focus and attention span is very limited. So I do not want to burden you all with too much of knowledge. So let's try to see how we can concise and compress and see how we can execute. Execution is excellence, right? So let's move forward to the first slide. Quick introduction. Okay, I'm just going to take you through quick introduction. Goal setting has 3 elements. Decide what you must, not what you want. A lot of people, when I ask about goals, they say, I want this, I want that, I want to buy a car, I want to buy a house, I want to buy this for my parents, I want and I want and I want. The language itself is so weak. If you say I want, you never say I want food, right? I want to have lunch. Probably you might say that, but you say, I must have my lunch. You have a must word there. Watch your vocabulary. What you wish, what you want, you may never get. But what you must, when you say, I must get this, it has a lot of power. So watch what you're telling. Your language and vocabulary which you use with people, and the language and vocabulary which you use with yourself, is very crucial in achieving goals. So deciding what you must have is the first step of goal setting. I'm not getting into the tools of goal setting. There are tools, smart tools, specific, measurable, or no. I'm not getting into that, right? I'm getting into execution. Second point is devising a plan to achieve. For example, you want a goal, or you must have a particular goal. I must travel to Chennai. Is a must. There's no ambiguity there, right? I must. Second, you devise a plan. How should I go? Should I go in the plane, in the car, in the bus, or whatever, train, right? You have a plan. The third and the last point is to take that mode of transport and reach Chennai. That's the execution, right? So I'm going to focus. So you generally, are you all able to see my screen? Is it clear? Just give me a thumbs up if you can all see
Yes,
my screen.
clear.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so if you must have something, the problem is not the first two steps. Goal setting, everybody does. Planning, everybody does. The problem people get stuck, general survey, the problem people get stuck is executing. Execution, as I said, is excellent. So without execution, your goals are like the castles in the air. You can build castles in the air, but they will never be built in reality. So be very careful of knowing how to execute. Now, in execution, in the process of execution, I hope my language also is clear. If everybody is able to understand what I'm saying, just put a thumbs up. My language, I hope my language is clear. I'm not too fast, or am I clear? Okay, great, fantastic. Thank you, Jazakallah. Thank you so much. Thank you, fantastic. Right, now coming to execution. Execution is just like farming. I'm giving this example because I've used the same example in my second book, the Tie Your Camel. If you read that book, I've used exactly the same 5 steps. Now, when you really want to get a good crop as a goal, outcome is your crop. You have to go through these 5 steps. Choosing the best land is the first step. You want a very good crop of rice. You have to choose a good piece of land first. After you choose the land, second is you have to till the land. You have to loosen the soil. You have to till the land. Third step, you have to put the right seed. If you put a wrong seed, even if your land is good, even if you have tilled it well and you put a wrong seed, you're not going to get the best rice. You have to put the right seed. Then step 4, you have the great land. You have tilled it well. You've put the right seed, but you have not given enough water and minerals to it. You have not nourished it. Then you'll not get the outcome. The 5th step, you have great land. You have tilled the land. You have put the right seed. You also watered, given nourishment to all these aspects, but you have not removed the wrong elements from the land. There will be weeds, there will be plants which will eat away the seeds, which will destroy the seed, or worms if you don't de-weed. If you don't weed the negatives out, then this entire process of execution is empty. So let's go through these 5 steps. You can note down, and I want you to be with me when I'm going to take you through. And please use your pen and paper. This will really help you, because right now, probably you are struggling with some goal and you're saying, why is it not working out? Man, I'm trying to do so much. I have a clear goal in my head. I have a clear plan, but why is it not working out? Probably these are the steps you'll need to take to be able to, quickly execute, right? I'll give you an incredible example of a personality. Many of you will know whom I'm talking about. So I'm not going to name him because I do not want to, just talk about the personality's name. I want to talk about the story, right? The story is very powerful. So this incredible man, I consider him one of the best people, or the best person who has walked this earth. So this man was talking, he was a social reformer, religious reformer, and he was the prophet of God, and he had a purpose in life. He was very clear about his purpose. He was very clear about his mission in life. So he used to go around talking to people on many subjects of equality, goodness, truth, nobility, equal distribution, power to people, power, democracy, all these things he was propagating and talking about. And he was talking about goodness. He was talking about humility. So when he was doing this, you obviously have resistance, right? When you talk good, when you try to preach a good message, you have resistance. You have people who don't like it. So there was one lady who did not like this man. This man was incredibly focused on his outcome. He was a very poor man. He was illiterate as well. But he had this mission in his mind. He was not formally educated, but he was a prophet of God. And he was out there to spread the message. He was not having any agendas and goals, personal goals, but he wanted to see how he can make a difference to mankind. So he used to always go talk to people and try to put them on the right path. So there was one lady who did not like him. So what she used to do, ritualistically, every single time he passed her house, she used to dump garbage on him. She used to throw garbage on him because she just didn't like him. And he used to dust off the garbage and walk forward because he was very focused around his purpose. Just think about this. If you walk across a house and somebody throws garbage, how would you feel? How would you take that? How would you react? Generally, 95% of the world's population would react, not respond, not walk off, right? So he just used to walk, dust the garbage and walk off. What happened after a few days? He found that that person stopped throwing garbage and he was worried. He asked a few people, what happened? That lady, she used to come out, throw garbage on me. I'm not able to find that. She's not doing that anymore. So some of them said, she's ill, she's unwell, she's at home and she's ill. This man immediately goes back, goes back to the house, searches for her, and he finds her very, very ill. So he takes care of her. He brings medicine, he brings food for her, he gives all that, tends her, and he puts her back to the road to recovery. She gains back her health. And after that, imagine the position that lady was in. She regrets whatever she did. And she says, whatever others told me about this man, that he's not a good man, he's spreading, wrong messages. It's all nonsense. This man is a righteous man. He's a noble man. And I need to listen to this man, not to the others. And she became one of his followers. Think about this. I've given you one example. I request you to keep this example in the background of your mind till we complete this session. Just think about, I didn't name the man. I just said he's a prophet of God. And look at what he did. Just think about this. One example is enough for us to understand what goals, how do you execute your goals when you're after a particular mission. Nothing matters. Nothing matters what people do to us, how they talk to us, how they abuse us, how they put us down is of no significance. What is significant is how I pursue my goal once I've decided it. So that is execution, right? So let's move forward and see how we can implement these few lessons through a very disciplined or defined way. Let's look at choose the land first. Choosing the land. So most of us, when we go out into the world, right, whether we are professionals or we are, social workers, or we are in the domain of politics, or we are, in a government job, or we have our own business, think about this. The first thing, we don't choose the right land. And as I'm talking to you, I still struggle. My decisions are based on this first point. If you don't cross the first point, if you don't choose good land, you can't have all the other processes. You choose a bad land, and then you have tilling, and then you have good seeds. You water the seeds, you nourish the seeds, and you remove the weeds. It's not going to help, because first step, you have not chosen the right land. And what is the right land? Let me give you a very quick story about it, because stories help us remember the concepts. And then we'll go into the exercise. I'm going to take you to the next step where we're going to do an exercise, okay? The story is about Sam, and I think they're called entomologists. They are the people who study insects. So this Sam was in the forests of, I think, Amazon, and he was trying to study this creature called the bullet ant. Bullet ants have the most painful sting in the world. Bullet ants are very aggressive creatures. They have the most painful sting in the world. So he was studying this. And then while studying, he placed cameras all around an anthill. And then he, started experimenting. And then he started uh, conducting his research over a period of time. And one particular research he did was he put a little food at the end of the anthill. He placed some food. And then suddenly he saw that there was one ant which came. But the size of the food was slightly bigger, and the ant was not able to carry the food. So the ant immediately turned around and started going towards the ant hill. So before it went into the ant hill, Sam put an indicator on top of the ant. He put a neon sign, neon ink, which, it's like the yellow neon ink on top of the ant. The ant went into the ant hill, came back with 5 more ants because it was not able to pick up the food. So it went inside and brought a few more ants along with it. And it came again and to the place where Sam had kept the food. But by the time the ant came back, Sam had removed the food. So when it came, Sam observed that that ant and the other ants had a kind of a discussion. And there's some communication going on. And then they all returned back. A while later, Sam put the food again. And to his surprise, the same neon ant came there searching for the food, found the food, tried to pick it up. It was not able to carry, so it rushed back into the ant hill and came back with a few more ants. By the time they came back, Sam removed the food again. Again, there was a discussion. Again, they went back. This happened 4 to 5 times. Fifth time, when Sam placed the food outside the ant hill, the same ant came, saw the food, went into the ant hill, came back, and this time a slightly bigger ant came along with them. And as they came, Sam removed the food. They came, they had a discussion. It seemed that that big ant which was there gave a kind of command to the other ants. The other ants immediately killed that neon ant. They tore it into pieces. Through this research, he found out that dishonesty, lying, is not accepted in the animal kingdom. For the neon ant was actually telling the truth, but they came repeatedly again and again and again, and they did not find the food. They said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances. Whenever we come, we find that there is no food. This ant is lying, and we do not want a liar in our ant hill. They killed, they tore this neon ant. इसको फाड़ के फेंक दिया, मार दिया उसको, क्योंकि गुमान था. They had this saying that this is a liar ant. Look at the land on which we are basing our goals. Most of us base on our goals without taking into fact that on a daily basis, we are not practicing sincerity and integrity. If we do not have sincerity towards our goal, if we do not have integrity, if we are not committed towards our goals, you will not be able to execute it. It's not the goal which has the problem. It is our non-committance towards the goal. It is our non-sincerity towards the goal. It is our, doubt about our own self that we are not able, we may achieve or may not achieve. That itself takes away the power of execution. The first things first, we need to have an understanding about our own goal and our commitment towards it, as if यकीन होना चाहिए मैंने अगर इस गोल को ले लिया है मैं इसको करके रहूंगा. And you should have the faith that God is going to help me achieve this goal. If you do not have that, then you are lying towards your own goal. The first step of choosing the land is to be truthful. Now I have a list of 50 points on my screen. For every answer, I mean, this is your own assessment. You're not going to give it to me. So truthfully, give an assessment. For every sentence, if you feel it is true, give 1 point. For every sentence, if you feel you are not agreeable, give 0. If it is true, if you feel it is true, give 1. If you feel it is false, give 0. Right? Let's start. First point, I miss appointments often and don't call to reschedule them. I miss appointments. Missing appointments is okay, but I don't call to reschedule. If it is true, give 1 point. If it is not true with you, give 0. Did you understand? Any questions? Anybody has any questions, you can chat. The font size, and I'm reading it out, right? So just write down on your, okay, I'm just reading it out, so don't worry. As I read out, you give 1. For every sentence I read out, give either 1 if it is true for you. If it is not true, write 0. So we'll total it afterwards. Okay, I'll give you what is the, no, don't put it in the chat. Don't put anything in the chat. Your score is your score. Write it on your paper, on your book. Don't write it on the chat. Please don't write it on the chat. This is your score. You write it on your own book. आपकी किताब के ऊपर आप खुद लिखें या चैट में मत डालिए. Okay? So now I'm just reading out. I'll quickly read out. So as I read out, either it's a 1 or a 0. Okay? I'm going to read out now. I'm going to start reading. The first is, I miss appointments often and don't call to reschedule them. Second one, I don't call back as committed. Third, I say on the phone that I'm in a place but would not be even close to it. I say, fourth point, I say I love something, but in my heart, I would just about like it. Fifth, when I visit somebody and they offer food, I often say I have already had food, though I would have not had it. Fifth, I'm not able to see the fifth point. Just give me a minute, please. I'll read it out from the book so that it's quick and easier. Okay, the fifth point is when I visit someone, the sixth point is I forget my promises often. Fifth was when I visit someone and they offer food, I often say I have already had it, though I would not have. Sixth is I forget my promises often. Seventh, I quote the price of my possessions or purchases
I
at a
quote the
slightly higher rounded figure. I think somebody is, Mohammed Yunusa, please mute yourself. Yep, thank you. When I see a child, eighth one, when I see a child, I exclaim, very cute. But in my heart, I think, okay, child. Ninth, just to get a better deal, I say, I'm a regular customer in your shop, just to get a better discount. You know what? I'm a regular customer, give me discount. So if you do that, you should give yourself 1 point. If you don't do, give 0. Often I say what I don't mean and I regret later. 11th point, when I'm cornered, I'm caught, I'm cornered, I can quickly say something and get away. When I'm cornered, I can quickly say something, I can slip out and get away. I keep my clock or watch a bit ahead to manage my time. So for example, the time is 7, I usually keep it a bit ahead so that I can manage. 13, just to get a good auto or a taxi fare, I say I come on this route often, so I know the fare you're giving me. Now, of course, today, Ola and Uber, you have the fare on thing. But if you generally book without the app, you say, I'm on this route, I pay lesser than that, reduce the price. 14, I have bribed the police to get away. I have bribed the police to get away. If it is true, give 1 point. If it is not true for you, give 0. I have encouraged or was okay when others paid the police and got away. 16. I have given bribe to get things done. I have given bribe earlier to get things done. 17. I have convincingly committed to something when I knew that I'm not going to do it. I said yes, but I knew in my heart that I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. If you have done that, give 1. If you have not done, give 0. I have claimed a lower price in the market to a vendor just to get a better deal. I said, what you are quoting, tomatoes are, 80 rupees here. In the other place, it is 60 rupees, but you don't know whether it is 60 or not. You're just telling it out of, just like that. So if you do that, give 1 point. If you don't do that, give 0. I have committed to people gifts, goodies, and did not keep up my commitment. I am unable to express what I feel openly and frankly with my parents. If you don't have parents, it's elders, basically. I'm unable to express what I feel openly and frankly with my spouse, either husband or wife. I can't communicate openly and, frankly. 21. 22. I'm unable to express what I feel openly and frankly with my friends. 23. I feel happy when I'm able to outsmart others and they don't find out. I'm able to outsmart others and they don't find out, and I feel very happy. See what I did, how I did, that kind of thought process. I can convince others to do what I want them to do for my convenience. I can convince others to do what I want them to do for my own benefit or convenience. Next point, 25, I often change schedule due to laziness. I often change my schedule because I'm lazy. I call up and say, no, yaar, I can't come now. I'll come tomorrow. The next day, hey, boss, today also I can't come. I'll come tomorrow. Changing the schedule because of laziness, not any genuine reason. I often get up, 26, I often get up late and rush for meetings. I often get up late and rush for meetings. 27, I get upset when I get caught making a mistake. I made a mistake, somebody caught me, I get very upset. 1 point. I get caught, I'm not upset, 0 points. 28, I am able to distinguish between big lies and small lies. This is a very big lie. This is okay, this is a small lie, chalega. 29, I can easily tell when somebody is lying. I can find out if somebody lies, I can find out. 30, I am okay or fine if somebody lies for a genuine reason. I'm okay with that. Somebody is lying, but it is a genuine reason, I'm okay. I can cover up very easily if I'm caught. I can cover up if I'm caught doing something wrong, I cover up. 32. I have told that I love a dish when in reality it was average. Somebody called you for some dinner, you ate the food, it was average food, but now you have to keep that person's heart. So you say, wow, fantastic dish. If you have done that before, give 1 mark. If you have not done, 0. I have told that I loved somebody's clothes when in reality it was average. 34. I have told someone that I love them just to keep their heart. 35. I've done an act or work that I was not comfortable with and I was not able to say no. 36, important one. I'm not the same person you would meet at home. Outside, I'm different. Inside my house, I'm very different. 37, it is very difficult for me to apologize. It's very difficult for me to apologize. 38, I can forgive, but I cannot forget. I can forgive, but I cannot forget. 39, if I come to know someone took me for a ride, I don't transact with him or her again. Somebody cheated me, somebody took me for a ride. Or if I know that, after that, I will not be able to transact with him or her. 40, I can forget, but I cannot forgive. I can forget, but I cannot forgive. 41. If I come to know somebody cheated me a second time, I don't transact with him or her. 42. If I come to know that somebody took me for a ride, I get back and make it even. I take revenge. If somebody took me for a ride, I take revenge. 43. I have lied many a time, and whenever I have done it for a purpose. I have lied many a times, but whenever I did it for a purpose. 44. I have never ever lied after the age of 10. 45. I have lied but confessed it on many occasions. I have lied, but I have confessed it on many occasions. 46. I expect people to arrive on time, or else I get upset. If people don't come on time, I get upset. 47. If I get late to a meeting, I'm emotionally disturbed. If I get late to a meeting, I am emotionally disturbed, or I'm disturbed. 48, I don't keep up my word with ordinary people. I keep up my word with the top management, managers, my peer, my friends, but with the security wala, with my driver, with the people, the maid in the house, all of them, then I don't want to keep, I take it lightly. I don't keep my word. 49. I have never lied after the age of 15. 50. When my near ones correct me or my mistakes, I feel bad. When my family, very close people who know me, if they correct my mistake, I feel very bad. I feel bad. Okay, so we've completed 50. Now you have written down 1 or 0, 1 or 0. That's how you have written down. Total the score. Total the score and see what is the total you get. Don't share it with me, please. Don't share your total with me. Keep it to yourself. आप अपने पास ही आपका स्कोर रखें. अब मैं आपको उसका एनालिसिस दूंगा नेक्स्ट पेज पे. यहाँ पे what is the purpose? What is my intention? It is to create awareness that when you are picking up goals, first thing is be truthful, impeccably truthful. It is so powerful. Your half of your goals will be achieved just by being truthful. Look at the 50 points I've given. They're examples of our daily life, how we are interacting with ourselves, and how we are interacting with others. It's a reflection, it's a mirror for us. I just did my own exercise before I came to do this session with you. I do this very often. This exercise, I personally do it very often. Just before I did the session with you, I picked up my book. This is the book which I have written, and this particular exercise is in this book. And I picked up the book and I went through it because I want to be truthful. I want to assess my own self. If I don't have a mirror in front of my face, I will not be able to execute goals. You know what is the difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people? Extraordinary people are highly truthful and committed about their own goal. That's why they're able to achieve it. Most of the people who don't achieve are cheating with your goal. You write the goal as a dream. You want to do it. I can do it. But in your heart, you know that you're not going to do. Think about what I'm saying. I might be very harsh, but I'm giving you the reality. This is the truth. Now, people who have scored 0 to 15, 0 to 15, I'm going to read out the assessment. Now you have your score. Reflect now. Think about it. Reflect, because this is what? This is about choosing the land of your heart, the land of your mind has to be clean and clear if you want to be solid execution leader. अपने जिंदगी में, अपने family के लिए, अपने लोगों के लिए, you want to do something incredible. First thing, you should choose the best land, and the best land space, land inside your mind and your heart, is the land of truth, being truthful 100%. If you have that, you'll see how you will start executing your goals. You'll be magical. Now, if you have a score of 0 to 15, This indicates people who fall into this bracket understand truth and integrity and are consistent in achieving their goals and are committed to anything they take up. This is a group that predominantly understands the difference between a vision, a goal, a task. Naturally, they are able to understand that, the difference. Okay. This is an ideal score. Our ideal score should be what? 0 to 15. Okay, that should be our ideal score. This is the ideal score we need to aim. I will share this exercise, or if you pick up my book, you also can get this exercise in the book, or I'll share it with Mr. Rabik and he can share it with you all. The Excel sheet or the list of questions which I have, I'll share it with him. You can pick it up periodically. Please do this. It is a solid mirror for our own awareness. So this score indicates high level of self-consciousness and an understanding of core human values, 0 to 15. You understand core human values. There is a natural flair for choosing sizable goals. You'll choose big goals and going after them with a lot of focus, right? Though there is scope for corrections, keep this level steady, and this will help you achieve bigger goals in life for the people who have got 0 to 15. Now let's go to the people who have got 16 to 25. This score indicates the people struggle with being true to their word and are not completely convinced about their goals. The goals you are setting, you're not completely convinced, okay? They usually take up goals in the spur of the moment and have casual attitude when it comes the time for action. That is 16 to 25. They tend to procrastinate and take on easier goals and put off the bigger goals and important goals for the future. So you have an action plan, but you pick up the smaller goals. You don't take the actually bigger goals, the challenging ones. Okay. People under this score have a very good scope for improvement. There's a very good scope for improvement. If you are falling between 16 and 25, you have solid scope for improvement, and you can get coached on values. Realignment of core values, your core values of integrity and accountability, can help bring down the scores, which is the first step towards building a vision and a giant goal in life. Score of 26 to 35. This group of people predominantly speak inconsistently and can change their word and commitments with the drop of a hat. They also have a lot of pessimism, negation, or negativity when it comes to big dreams and goals, and may often start with a can't do. This is not possible. This is not you can't do this. I can't do this. And this kind of a statement is very often for these people. They do have a few sporadic goals, but keep wavering on them. They set goals and within few days change them or forget them. They start tasks and leave it halfway. They take any progress. People in this group, to make any progress, people in this group must have a change in their friend circle. People who have scored 26 to 35, immediately change your friend circle, please, please, please. If you have scored 26 to 35, please change your friend circle immediately. Look for a true value-based environment and take on long-term mentoring and coaching. 36 to 50. This is a seriously severe condition, okay, with complete loss of truth, loss of sincerity, loss of integrity. People in this group are survival oriented. They just want to survive. Nothing matters. Neither their own values matter, neither the values of the family matter, neither the values of the community matters. So it's a dangerous area. There is no sense of purpose or direction, let alone vision. These people, being around them, if you find somebody who's often lying, often cheating, often, doing all shortcuts, please keep away from them. They can go back on their promises and commitments. There is no sense of accountability and responsibility. To make any shift, people in this group must take a long sabbatical. They should break away from society. They should take a long sabbatical. If somebody finds themselves in this region, in the region of 26 to 35, sorry, what is the number I gave? 36 to 50, you should take a break, complete break, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever the kind of break you have to take. Go away from people. sit down, reflect. They must look at their values. It does not matter what you lose. It does not matter if you have a job loss, business loss. It doesn't matter. Take a sabbatical, take a break, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Take a break. Go ask questions to yourself. Why are you here in this world? Realign yourself and come back. That's the only way you can have rectification in this group of people. With that, we conclude the step 1 of execution. Without finding the right piece of land, you can't go forward. That's why I gave so much emphasis to this. Look at this. Look at this. The greatest of people, the greatest of achievers are not because they are highly talented. It's because they choose everything on the foundation of truth. सच्चाई के ऊपर वो हर चीज बेस करते हैं. उसमें बहुत पावर होता है, उसमें बरकत होती है. There's a lot of barakah in it. There's a lot of blessings in it. So choose whatever you do in life, base it on truth. People don't use this as a goal setting principle. They talk about SMART goals, they talk about writing the goals, they talk about techniques and tools, but you don't base it on truth, then what kind of achievement do you have? Let's move forward. The second portion, tilling the land. Once you have chosen your land, is my screen visible? The second one? Oh, excellent. Thank you, Son. Thank you. Thank you. So let's move to tilling the land. The second part of tilling is once you have taken on a goal, most of us drop out because we are not patient. Now, patience is such a word, it's so often used, but people are not able to relate to what patience is. Patience, people think, is about waiting. It's not about waiting. Patience is not about waiting. Patience is about working very hard while waiting. It's working very hard. In fact, you work double hard while you're waiting for the result. What is patience? Patience is not just saying that I tried my level best. Now let me sit back and wait to see what happens. No, that's not patience. Patience is being convinced that there's something going to come, something magical is going to happen. I still have to keep working hard. I should put double efforts, and that's actual patience. So I think if you're able to understand this, I can give you 2 examples for you to remember. I have titled that book as Tie Your Camel because camel has incredible patience. If you study the animal camel, you'll be blown away. When it takes on a journey and the master of the camel says that I need to go in this direction, it takes the burden, it takes the load, it doesn't eat food, it doesn't drink water, and it continues enduring till it reaches its destination, irrespective of the heat, the storm, the sandstorm, whatever happens, it doesn't disobey its command. Once the command is given, we have to reach this place, it just keeps going. The other example is the example of a duck. If you see a duck from outside the water, you will see that it is moving, right? And it looks very elegant. I was also recently watching a duck in the lake, and it looks so beautiful, so elegant, as if nothing is happening around, right? But if you were to go underneath in the water and see, it paddles very aggressively. It does not keep quiet. Outside, it looks very still, but inside, it's paddling very hard. That is the true patience. And when you till your land with patience, you will be preparing the land for incredible success. Look at the gentleman's story, the prophet's story I told you, how focused he was. No matter what happened, he didn't give up his hard work. He didn't give up his patience. He went continuously working very hard in times of distress, even when he was alone. He was abandoned by his people. He was abandoned by everybody. Imagine he should have quit. No, he said, I have to continue. I'll work harder. So most of us, the second point is tilling your land is to work hard with patience, not bothering about when the result is going to come. It will come. And that's the law. The more patience in the right attitude we are able to exhibit, the quicker and the certain your goal will be achieved, God willing. The next, once you are done with tilling, the next is seeding, right? Once you're the process of being patient, you have chosen the right land by being truthful. Then you have started tilling by being patient and doing a lot of hard work. Now you have to implant or put in the right seeds. So what is seeds in terms of this, right? The most important part, which a lot of people talk about, you know, but we usually don't arrive at that. And we are all lost around a lot of things happening in life. Most of us, what are we struggling with? Confusion, right? No decision making, because we can't decide, because our mind is very confused. So why are we confused? We have so many goals, new goals coming up every single day, and we are picking up goals from by copying goals, by modeling goals, by taking goals from others. It's because we do not have something to live for. Everybody can't do everything. That's a fact of life. But you can do something very specific to your life. Everybody can't do everything. That's a fact. But you can do something very specific in your life. So if you're able to choose the purpose of your life, no matter what goals you're going to decide, the purpose should be decided. If you choose that this is the purpose of my life, then you're putting the right seeds, and that will actually start sprouting into beautiful goals, and you'll be able to achieve those goals because they're all anchored to one purpose. Most of us don't have a purpose, so we are going with the flow. And some people say this is the trend today, we turn right. If they say this is the trend, we turn left. No need of doing that. You have enough and more space in this universe, at least in this world. You are specific. You're very specific. Your fingerprint is very specific. Your retina scan is very specific. Your DNA is very specific. You're here for a specific purpose. Take up something very specific and do it. Don't have to do everything. Just because your neighbor has a new goal, you don't have to copy that goal. You have to choose your own purpose in life. So just find that. It may not be a large one. It may be a mid-size, a very small, mediocre purpose. Take it up. Once you take it up, you will be able to do. Now let's do another exercise. Pick up your book and write down your ideal day. I've just given, an example, but write down your ideal day, how it happens in the morning, how you get up, what you do. Ideal day. When you are actually working, it's not a holiday ideal day. Ideal work day. What do you do? Just write down briefly points of what your ideal day is on your notepad, not on the chat. Just write down quickly. Just write down quick. So once you've written down, just put a couple of thumbs up so that I understand it's done. Ideal day. Few points. Important points. I mean, mostly you do all these things in that particular day. Good. Some people have finished. Some are still doing. I request everybody to do this. I request everybody to do this because this is like an exercise for us to understand where we are going. If you're just done, a couple of more people putting a thumbs up will really help me. Fantastic. Mahesh, Shaheen, Abdul Mubin, Tilekar. Great, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Okay. Okay. Now, I have another question, or probably sort of how much of, just put against each of the tasks which you have put, just put the time you take for the task. Just put on the time, approximate time, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Just put the time against your tasks on that sheet. If you've done, just give me another thumbs up. Time, approximate time, and probably you can uh, so it should basically cover about 10 hours, right? 24 hours, 10 hours is your productive, 8 to 10 hours is your productive time, right? In life, 8 to 10 hours you can produce results. The remaining is all the, you sleep and you have time wasters and all that. 8 to 10 hours is what we actually, you have the same, I have the same, Jeff Bezos has the same, the Prime Minister has the same, the world leaders have, the athletes have the same, Kohli has the same, Dhoni has the same, Leander Paes has, all the people who perform have exactly that 8 to 10 hours of actual time which we produce the results. Okay, so 8 to 10 hours should be covered in what you have written. If it's done, just put a couple of more people, just put a thumbs up to indicate that you've done. Lovely. Okay, great, fantastic, superb. Now, just think about this, okay? It's more, you might think, what, it is so spiritual, philosophical. No, I'm being very practical. Think about this. We are made of two elements, two parts. One is our body, correct? Our body is here to be in this world 70, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. Okay, that's our body. What is our body made up of? Everything from the earth. You have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, water, all this put together is our body, correct? So we have one side, we have body. And when we are in the mother's womb, the soul enters, I think in the 4th week or the 6th week, I don't know the exact thing, but the soul enters, and that's when the heartbeat starts. And the doctor says the baby is alive, correct? So there is an element of the body which is made from the earth, and there's this hidden element which comes into the mother's womb from the heavens, which is the soul, right? Now, think about it. Our body is going to live in this world for 60, 70, 80, 90 years, but our soul lives beyond the body. It lives forever, right? Most of the beliefs agree that the soul is a hidden element, unseen. That's the power. That's our character. That's what needs to be nourished, right? And the soul reflects everywhere. It reflects on the body as well. The soul reflects on the body. The soul reflects on our behavior. The soul reflects, if you break an egg from outside, a, a, a life ends. But if the same egg, you be patient and it breaks from inside and breaks out, and life begins, right? What is important is inside the body, not the outside. The soul is more important than the body itself. Now, many examples we can take which indicate us that, say, there are some people who are under tremendous stress, tremendous problems, but they're always glowing, they're always happy, they're always smiling, right? They have bigger problems. I have few people, some of my mentors I've seen, they go through the kind of hell they go through, it's inexplainable. But their soul is so enriched that they are so powerful. They're able to take on any problem. They don't give up. They don't crumble. They are the people who are able to achieve things. Think about it. Okay. That's why I said I'm not being philosophical, spiritual. This is a reality. This is the truth, right? So just you have just written your ideal day. You have listed out the tasks and you also allocated the time. Just answer this question. How much of these tasks are nourishing the body and how many of these tasks are nourishing the soul? Take an assessment of the time. 80% of your time you're spending to nourish the body. 20% of the time you're spending to nourish the soul. Am I right? Whereas it should have been exactly the opposite. You know what extraordinary people are able to achieve because they focus on inner self. There's a grandfather who had an orange farm. So the grandson came running and he stood next to the grandfather. So he is expecting that the grandfather will give him some oranges. So the grandfather looks around from the basket. He picks up an orange which is almost greenish. There are brilliant orange colored oranges, and there are other ones which are a bit greenish. Some are very orange. So a mid segment, orange green kind of an orange. He goes through a few of them, picks up one, and gives it to this grandson. The grandson looks at him with a little disappointment. Then the granddad understands. He said, "Yeah, you're looking for the brilliant, bright orange, right?" So he goes to the other basket and picks up a very brilliant, bright colored orange and he gives it to him. So the kid very excitedly opens the orange and inside he finds that the fruit is absolutely dry. You must have experienced this. Very good looking fruit, but the moment you open inside, the fruit is dry. The orange doesn't have much of juice. Then the grandfather says, "Don't go by the outside. A fruit is defined from its inside." So he says, "Open the other one." So now the granddad would have given the greenish orange kind of orange. He opens that and he finds the fruit absolutely juicy. So the granddad tells the grandkid that a human being is exactly like this. The purpose of the orange is not the skin, the color of the orange. The purpose of the orange is the juice inside the orange. Human beings are exactly like that. Our purpose is to nourish our inside. How much of time are we spending on reading? How much of time are we spending on mentoring? How much of time are we spending on gaining a new hard skill? Think about it. Look at whatever you have written is your own mark sheet. 80% किस पे काम आप कर रहे हैं और 20% किस पे कर रहे हैं. Out of the 8 or 10 hours, 8 hours we have to spend on developing our soul. Automatically, our everything else will be developed. We are spending time on skin care, hair care, makeup. Look at the number of advertisements coming. You are this, you'll become this, you'll go to a 2-inch taller, you're slimmer, you'll become what billions of dollars are spent on just the skin of the orange. Think about it. You and I are going to be dead and gone. What will be remembered? What are your children going to remember you for? What are your grandchildren going to remember you for? Your hair? For the color of your skin? Or for the achievements you've done? Think about it. 80% of the time, if you're going to focus on what you're going to do as a purpose, and if you're going to focus on developing your soul, you will create incredible results for yourself. This is a fact. You might not like the way I'm telling you, but this is a fact. Once you have done this check, let's move to the next point. So next point comes after you have done the seed. The seeding is what? Choosing the right mission or purpose in life. After that, you come to nourishing. If you nourish all this, once you've chosen the land, then you've tilled it, and you've used the right seeds, then you have to give the water and nourishment to it, right? And nourishing and giving the water is to be like a child. Children achieve their goals quickly. Have you observed this? You tell them something, they go do it. In fact, they don't even think. Tuck, 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 they do it. They go do. They're very execution oriented. They don't think, they don't logic, right? we do analysis paralysis, and then we don't go and achieve. At the end, we are analyzing our own goals, and then at the end, we are not able to achieve it. So how do you think like a child, or how do you listen like a child? Stop competing. In reality, human beings have not been created to compete with each other. We are supposed to learn from each other. We're not supposed to compete. Competition is taught by the system because they want us to compete so that they can make a lot of money. The corporates and the world want to make money, so they put you into competition. I remember my second son, when he was just about to enter the school. So he is just the first few months, okay? And it was a Montessori. First few months, I think they wanted to do something, so they organized a competition, the running competition. And my son is there in the queue, and all the children are there. Just think about, he's about 2 years, 2.5 years old, okay? 2 years, 2.5. So at that age, does a child know competition? Absolutely no, right? They have no clue about a competition. Absolutely no clue. Now they are there. All the teachers are excited about the competition. All the parents are excited about the competition. Who wants the competition? The teachers want the competition. The parents want the competition, correct? Now, all the parents want their child to win. And the children are absolutely clueless. They're standing at the start line. Somebody is looking at the sky. Some child is looking at the other child. Some child is looking back. Some child does not know why they're there. But then the teacher say, children, when I blow the whistle, you're going to run this side and you should go and reach that side. There is a teacher standing there at the end. You should go reach. And okay, that happened, and that whole scene is stuck in my mind so clearly. Whenever I remember, it gives me goosebumps. So the whistle went off, and the children started. Some of them were walking, some are not even running, some are running away from the target, some are running here, and so all of the teachers are trying to bring them into the focus, and they're trying to make them run towards the goal. They're saying, it's like you have to come like this, and all the parents are, run Chintu, run Priya, run Abdul, run. All the parents, children are clueless. And amidst that, my second son Zayan was there. And I also had that temptation to, shout out and say, run Zayan. And then I suddenly stopped. I stopped and I looked at him. He was jogging, basically. He was not running. He was jogging. It was a bright sunny morning, and it was quite windy also. I saw that he was enjoying the breeze. He was jogging. He was looking up. He was enjoying the breeze, and he's running towards the other side, aram se. And in that moment, for some reason, he looked towards the parents were all shouting. He looked towards the parents' stand to check if I am also shouting or me and my wife were encouraging. He just checked. We didn't react. We didn't respond. We just kept quiet. So he enjoyed that whole time, and he just jogged, not even ran, because all the other children were confused. Eventually, he reached the goal because he was not competing. Think about this. Most of us get into competition with each other and destroy our own goals. Stop competing. You're not here to compete. If you are really smart, allow others to compete. They can compete with you. Go and ask Virat Kohli, who is your competitor? If you get an opportunity to talk to any of these extraordinary people, you should talk to them. Who do you compete with? You know what Virat will say? Or you know what one of the leaders will say? My competition is my last best. I don't compete with others. I compete with myself. So this is how you nourish your goals. Stop competing. Stop copying goals. Just because my neighbor has a goal, he suddenly bought a car. See, we don't have a car at home. You don't need a car. If you have a taxi, you're okay with a taxi. Or if you're okay with a smaller car. The purpose of a car is to take you from point A to point B. We compete. We look at the other person's building. We look at the other people. When you compete, you lose the good energy inside you. Your soul gets destroyed. How will you perform? Think about what I'm saying. And you know what? There's a group of frogs who were, running, and people were shouting. The other frogs were shouting. And as they were shouting, this frog who was running started running faster. The other frogs are shouting because this frog was a very weak frog. So they were shouting at him and waving out. So this frog kept running faster and at the end achieved the goal. So after they finished, the frogs went and started shouting at this frog. We were shouting at you and you did not listen. So this apparently was a deaf frog. All the frogs were shouting that you cannot do it, you will not do it, why are you running, you are weak. But the frog who was deaf was thinking that all the frogs were encouraging him. So he ran faster and achieved it. So sometimes you should listen like a child. The child never listens with any meaning. Whatever the world says, they don't worry. They just go and do what they have to do, right? And the last point is, we usually have a lot of don't commands. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, don't do. The entire world is filled with don't commands. Stop don't commands and start do commands. If somebody comes and say, hey, don't subscribe in this particular shares, these shares are going to, boss, don't give me this don't command, give me a do command. What should I do? Right? So this is how you can nourish your goals. If you stop competing, stop copying others' goals, be deaf to negativity, be deaf. There will be 80% of the world's population who will try to pull you down. Be deaf to them. And fourth, have more do commands, not the don't commands. You will see that you're nourishing your goals. Last but not the least, weeding is a very important process. After you do all the tilling and choosing the land, tilling, then seeding, then nourishing, if you don't remove the bad things from the land, they will destroy the crop, right? What are the bad things in our life? What are the negatives in our life? Very simple. In ancient India, when they wanted to catch monkeys, because ancient India, they used to eat monkeys. So when they wanted to catch monkeys, what they used to do, they used to take a pot, put full peanuts in the pot. The pot used to have a very small opening in the front, in the mouth. The opening used to be very small. So used to keep this pot tied to a tree. Monkeys love peanuts. So they used to come, they put the hand into the pot and they used to grab the peanuts and try to pull the hand out. But because they grabbed the peanuts, the fist becomes big and the hand doesn't come out of the pot. They used to get stuck. Monkeys don't want to let go the peanuts. So they used to get caught, killed, and served. That's why today's world, they use these statements. If you give peanuts, you'll get monkeys. That is the whole statement which has come from. And I use this, one of my favorite examples, and I use this often with people. If you notice, what did the monkey give its life for? Peanuts. Like the monkey, we all have our own peanuts. We don't want to let go of the peanuts. If you don't let go of the peanuts, you will never experience freedom. You'll be caught, you'll be slaughtered, you'll be kicked, you'll have stress, strain in achievement, right? We all go through stress and strain, fine, but learn to at least remove some of the weeds from your land. What could be the possible peanuts we are holding on to? There are small goals. There are negative goals. There are insignificant goals. A negative goal could be that person did this to me. I'm going to go and ruin that person. It's a negative goal. That person didn't give me my change, so I'm going to go and cheat him. The negative goal. The person spoke ill about me. I'm going to speak ill about that person. Negative goal. Or some of them are written out here, worrying about tomorrow and trying to do many things at one time, spending a few days in research before buying a need-based utility. I want to buy a brush for my bathroom. I go and check out 50 brushes. Let us see price, quality, this. It's a need-based brush for the bathroom. Just go buy something and use it. Over concerned about scattered garbage on the road of the city. Can you do something? You're the corporator, do it. If you can't, focus on your goals. Why do you want to get around with all? Those are all peanut goals. Brands are very important. I will go any length to buy a brand which I love. A lot of people are caught up with brands and they spend half of their earnings on brands. You don't need, if you have something which is good quality and you're able to afford it, go buy it and use it. I can't resist when there is a discount. Peanut goal. I feel out of place when I don't meet my friends every day. Peanut goal. Attending wedding and I need to plan for the wedding from 5 days. Peanuts goal. Chatting on WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta with no purpose, no meaning, no area. If I have self development as my area of life, I chatting on WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, using that as my purpose makes sense. But I go and do everything whichever others are doing, peanut goals. What are the peanut goals you have right now? Give up, remove them from your life. You will be weeding them out so that you have brain space and space in your thinking to be able to accommodate some reasonably good goals and you can go forward. As one of the teachers had said, he took a pot, put small pebbles and asked, is this bottle full? All the students said, yeah, it is full. Then he added sand and he shook the bottle. Sand went and settled. He said, if I had added sand in the first, would I be able to accommodate any of the pebbles? They said, no. Your life is similar to this. If you have small sand-like goals, you will never be able to accommodate big goals. So if you have peanut goals, which are sand size, remove them. Add big goals in your life. Sand can any day be accommodated. All those small goals will be taken care. So these are a few things so I'm just recapping what we just discussed. 5 essentials or 5 steps in being able to execute your goals. One, put your land or choose your land, be truthful, like the bullet ant. Put all your goals on the platform of truth. If there's something which is not authentic, not truthful, not doesn't require, requires a lot of manipulation, requires a lot of cheating, requires a lot of wrong things, eliminate that, clean up your land. Tilling is to be patiently working hard with a hope that this is going to happen. Be purposeful like the orange, where the seed is inside the orange. Your soul is very important. Have purpose around your soul. Develop your soul. Spend 80% of your time on developing your inner self. Have years of a child. Have an attitude of a child. Don't compete. Try to do things in a way where you are doing it alone and do not copy the goals of others. Last but not the least, remove all these small goals which are negative, energy sucking goals. You will be free and light to be able to go and execute your normal goals. So these 5 steps which I wanted to share with you using the beautiful example of farming, is something I hope you can carry back. And inshallah, if you're able to uh, open the forum for questions, it will be really good. You can moderate and probably we can open the forum for questions. If somebody, if brothers who are organizing can moderate, it would be great. Otherwise, I can take up the questions directly. These are some of the books published. You can also, I have some very good small short tips and reels on Instagram. You can follow me on coach_Habib. Some of the reels which come out as important points where you can implement them immediately are there on Instagram. So you can follow me on that as well. Open for questions. Thank you very much. I will share the slides with Brother Abik. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Instagram link. Right. Let me check if I can. This is, you just have to search coach_Habib to be able to get. Yeah, somebody wants to ask a question. Organizer can unmute.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I'm having doubt that. So you told to focus about the 80% of inner and 20% for the other. So the our 20% other, exactly what does that mean?
20% is your routine, no? You have some routine stuff. You have to clean up your table. You have to iron your clothes. You have to, take care of your body. Basically, like, if you're going out, it's okay to put a sunscreen, but don't stand for 2 hours and do a complete skincare routine. You can take care of yourself. You should have a bath. You should, all that falls into 20%, which is your routine. Most of us spend.
So, and one more dot also. So 18% means basically we should focus on our inner. Inner means we should focus on our inner personality, inner ideas to which that others should don't get hurt and we can upgrade ourselves.
Yes. See, for example, if you ask a question that how different are you from last year, what you were last year and today, what you are today, how different are you? If you ask that question, you'll get an answer. If you have progress, that means you have been working on your inner self, right? Inner self could be meditating, praying, gaining more emotional intelligence, reading books, going for classes, acquiring a new skill, acquiring new knowledge, right? Getting mentored, having a couple of coaches, developing a new hobby which can really help you. Those are the aspects you need to work on.
Sir, and I have one other doubt also. So if I'm having a specific goal, but I want to complete it, but I am doing it and I'm doing the education which is completely interconnected. So whether we can go for the two goals.
Yes, you can. As far as your purpose is one, you should always have a single purpose in life, but you can have multiple goals, right? For example, I have a purpose of being Asia's #1 coach, for example. Okay. Under that, I can have a goal of learning how to write better, learning how to speak better on stage, improving my English. Correct? So these are 3 goals under the purpose of being a coach. Got it?
Actually, we can have more goals. The main goal should not be get disturbed. That's the point.
So they should all complement the vision in life.
Yeah.
Or purpose in life.
If having a main one goal, to attain that we can upgrade ourselves through many more goals, adding many more goals, which is interconnected, so that we can attain the main very easily, but without disturbing the main goal.
Correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So, Jazakallah khair, sir, and your class was really awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And the story told me about the Prophet Muhammad. Actually, I was just reading a book, Sector of Islam. So I already read that lesson. So I got the point what you were trying to convey through us.
Sure. Thank you so much. Jazakallah. Thank you.
Jazakallah, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, coach. I'm Munir Ahmad. I'm from Coimbatore.
Yes, Mr. Munir.
Nice to be the part of this training. Yes, alhamdulillah. It was very excellent. Before starting my question here, it was a very excellent webinar. I have been to many webinars all over through India, but the inputs you have shared me, and I thought of it would be a very casual session of setting up goals, and it sounds like a board topic, but it was unusual. Excellent. The first questionnaire is remarkable. The entire question set says, "May Allah bless you with more intelligence and."
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My question is, you are talking about setting up of goals with some practices. My question is how to practice that, and how long should we take it to get it into consistent thing? So, if you are setting up some goals and asking us to correct some things personally, we have to make a practice. So how long should a man take a practice for that, or how to get that consistency to get into our life? How to keep that consistent?
Yeah, I got your point. I got your point. See, what happens is the element of the sister was telling, no, I have a doubt. I have a doubt. If you look at our society, we have many such words which are negative. Doubt is a very negative word. You should always say, I have a question. I have a question. I want clarification. You should never say, I have a doubt. I'm just giving you an example. I hope the sister doesn't feel bad, but this is a reality. Whenever children in the class, when they stand up and ask a question, they don't say, I have a question. They say, I have a doubt. Right? So what happens is we always have the human mind pops up assumptions and doubts. It doesn't pop up a question. So what we do is we discredit our past success. We don't think about, we are not in gratitude. So many things, you yourself, Munir Bhai, you would have, you achieved so many goals in life, correct? We forget all that. All you have to do is replicate the way you have achieved those goals. You don't need a set time, right? All you have to do is you have to replicate what you did in the past, which gave you success. Because your way of achieving those goals is very different from my way. Probably you set up a catering business, right? You had a way you did it. All you do is sit down, take a book, sit down and say, what is the first thing I did? What is the second thing I did? What is the third thing I did? Fourth thing. To set up this business, I took 8 steps. 8 steps may I set up this whole thing. Now you take that whole model and replicate it. If I say, no, Munir bhai, you have to do this work for 21 days, then I'm imposing my methodology on you. It may not work for you.
Your ideas of practices is something like, if you implement, you can get your goals like that. So that's what my question is.
Yeah. So what I shared with you is generally how you would treat, but inside that, for example, weeding. I gave you the tip of weeding out the wrong things from your land, but I don't know what is the weeding you have to do. Probably one sentence you are using often may not be the right sentence. For example, I don't know why I can't do it. Some people have this. I don't know why people don't understand me. It's a wrong point inside your land of trying to build something which will be causing a lot of disruption. So you have to clean up that. You should watch your language, what you're using with others and what you're using with yourself. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. You tell 10 times, you actually become bad. These are the weeds we have to remove from our landscape of setting goals, achieving goals. But one size doesn't fit all. I'm giving you the template. I gave you the template today. In that template, you can make changes, you can make modification and adjustments. If I say, this is the only way, you have to do like this, it doesn't work for human beings like that. You have to have flexibility, right? Choosing the land, your landscape. For example, you are doing this food business, catering business. That is your landscape for the dunya. But in that, if you are able to do some charity, you've also anchored it to the purpose of life. You found 10 people, in your area who are very poor, who are not able to eat. So what are you doing? You're doing business so that you can make enough money so that you can also take care of those 10 people. What a noble thing. Look at the goal, how suddenly it becomes a vision. And then you say, I want to do it because God should be pleased with me. You have anchored it to a purpose in life. Though it is a small business of catering and food, your business has got meaning now. We had an intervention with bus drivers of Bangalore. Okay, we were doing some work with them. We went and spoke. One of my colleague went and spoke with the bus driver. He said, "Sir, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? எப்படி உங்க இது work எப்படி இருக்குது?" And in Kannada they spoke, and they spoke to him, and he started complaining, and he started talking, saying, "What, sir? This is the worst thing in life. I'm under turmoil. My job is the worst. Even the enemy should not get a job like this. I don't have any rest. I don't have this. I don't have that." And one big list of complaints. Imagine his state. Will he ever be happy? He'll never be happy. Then my friend, who was a coach, he spoke. "Have you ever thought, sir, just turn around and look in your bus. There are 50 people. Did you ever think that the person sitting there, the boy sitting there, is going for the first interview in his life? The lady there, she's expecting, and she's going to the hospital for a checkup. You see that old man standing there, he's going to meet his family. Do you know that you are driving a bus which is taking all of them for their own goals? You'll not believe that driver started crying. "Sir, my life, I've never thought like this, sir. My life today, my whole driving has changed. My meaning for driving has completely changed." Look at his goal of driving when it is attached to a purpose in life. He now starts feeling good that I'm taking all these people toward their goal. That is also my purpose. I'm helping so many people. Did you understand what I'm saying? So we have to anchor our daily goals should be anchored to the purpose. When you anchor it to the purpose, it doesn't become painful.
By the way, it could give like satisfactions also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It gives meaning.
Jazakumullah khair, coach. It was very easy.
Barakallah. Thank you. Yes, Wasim Sahab.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Abik for inviting me to this webinar. And I am also an amateur coach. I attended this program just to learn from you. I'll be very honest. I learned a lot. And you are a very good storyteller, extremely good storyteller, I would say. Attended a lot of sessions. And I've worked with the corporate sector, but I've not seen anyone connecting the dots so well. And
thank you so much.
I just am floored by the way you connected to so many real life stories around us, and even this bus story. So I mean, based at Bangalore, maybe we'll be happy to connect with you someday. I will collect your coordinates from Mr. Rabik.
Sure, Wasim bhai. Pick up my contact from Brother Rabik, and we can be in touch. We work in the social sector as well. We can do some work together.
Sure, inshallah.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other question? I didn't see the chat. If any questions in the... Okay, there are some questions. I request Saipa to arrange the session for at least 15 days. Okay, we can do a physical session as well. If Brother Rabik organizes something in Bangalore or in Chennai, I can come down. We have a 4-day session which we do on leadership. I can probably do that. How to maintain priorities, strategies at critical situations. Sometimes, never have strategies when you're operating. Strategy meetings have to be separate. When you're operating, that means when you're actually executing a particular goal, do not get into a strategy mode, because when you start thinking, you'll drop working. So strategy should be a separate time you have to take out from your week. Maybe one particular day, you should take out 2 hours for checking out your strategies. Otherwise, be in execution. While you're execution, if you try strategizing, you'll get confused. So that's my input. Thank you so much. Somebody from Gujarat. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm open. If any physical sessions can be organized, I would be more than happy to participate. We have a very beautiful team in Bangalore. We work with the youth. We can definitely, work on that. All right, I think we can wind up. It's 8:35. Arsha, I think Arsha wants to ask a question. Go ahead, unmute yourself and please ask.
So if I want to organize, actually I'm having an academy.
Sure.
If I want to organize a session at Bangalore at my academy, how would I reach you?
Please pick up my phone number, contact details from Brother Abik.
I'm not familiar with
the one who organized this program. They have their contact details on their that link.
Okay, fine.
Probably pick it up from them,
Okay.
or you connect with me on Instagram. I'll probably share it with you. Coach_Habib.
Okay, Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, you've got the organizers' contact details in the chat. You can pick it up. Rank 0 to 50, is it applicable in all assignments? Yeah, generally, see, it's life, because if you see the questions, it are daily routine questions. These questions are very intricate and, very, very relatable. These are not out of the world. I mean, they're relatable, and, these are important questions we need to ask ourselves, because sometimes unconsciously we mess up. We are not consciously trying to make a mistake, but unconsciously. For example, a person who's working under us, we unconsciously ignore the person, or we don't give importance, or if we have committed to that person, we try to. It happens to me as well. So these are the things we need to be careful, and probably when we do this test once in every 3 months, our awareness about these aspect itself increases, right? For the certificate, I think you need to get in touch with the organizers. That will be, I think, taken care, inshallah. With the permission of the organizer, I think we can wind up. We had a few questions and answers. I will be sharing the PDF with the organizers, and they can share it forward. I will try to share the questions as well, inshallah. There's one more question. Last question. This is the last question I'll take. How to focus? So focus more on study. I want to focus on my life. How to do it? You are focusing on study, and right now, why don't you shift the focus on study to learning? Most of us take up study as a very hard-working process, but if you connect it to your life, what you want to become in your life, right? Then the studying parts becomes a learning part. It doesn't. It's not oriented only towards your exam, right? Right now, you're studying because you want to clear the exam. That's a very minor goal. But if you study to learn, so that you become a more stronger personality in terms of content, you have a lot of content, you've learned something, and that has developed into a skill, which could be a soft skill or a hard skill, then you are on the right track towards your own goal in life. Thank you so much. I think, yeah, you can message me on Insta. I think we'll respond. Okay, I think with that we will wind up. It's 8:40. If the organizers allow us to wind up, we can do so.
Sir, may I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the great session, sir. I think you're a great coach. I think all participants will very much happy with your session. I think so, right?
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir. So I think those who want to contact with sir, you can contact with our organizer team. So I already sent it to the number through chat. I again send you the number. You just check it out, and you can reach us at any time. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir.
I appreciate that you invited me to participate with this. I too learned from whatever we did today, and look forward to more sessions, and
Yeah, sure,
keep
sir.
doing
Sure,
good.
sir.
Thank you so
Sure,
much.
sir. We'll plan it out, sir. We'll plan
Take
it
care.
for the. Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good night.
Good night, sir. Thank you.